Good morning, everyone. My name is Laura Stranks and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Just a couple of things before I start. I think most of you would know now I've got a Facebook page called Cards by Laura. In there you'll find all my cards that I've done, just photos of cards I've done over the years, and in my Facebook group and on my YouTube channel and my classes and workshops that I do. My Facebook group's called Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. All the PDFs for these cards and my live videos on a Saturday are in this group. It's a large group, so if you wish to join this group, there are two questions you will need to answer. One, why you wish to join the group, and the other is that you agree to the rules. It's lots of content in there. The girls share their cards that they've made from my videos that I do, and all the tutorials PDFs are in the files tab in that group. So if you're looking for any of the PDFs for these plus my live videos, that's where you'll find them. It's not exclusive to Stampin' Up, so you're welcome to join there even if you're not a Stampin' Up demonstrator or Stampin' Up customer. My YouTube channel, if you're watching now, it's called Creative Gems. If you haven't subscribed before, I'd love you to do so. I'm up to over 6,000 members now, or subscribers, and I love what I do. It's just a hobby for me, so I don't get anything out of it, just the satisfaction of knowing that I'm teaching other people how to make lovely cards. I'll put that aside and we shall get started. This one I'm doing today is called an Interlocking Double Gatefold card. As you can see, it holds together nicely and it locks in here at the front. So if you pull these two sides like so, and it opens up like that, and we've got a little writing panel on the back. Easy to do. Just got to keep your wits about you. It does interlock. I am going to try a little bit different today when you push this together. So this side here locks in under that side, and that one locks in under that side, and then they just push down together. I'm going to take a little smidge off here before I assemble it. I just noticed it's creasing a little bit there. It's just my sample card, so, and here I've pulled that a little bit crooked, and then it's torn it a tiny bit there, but I'm not too worried about that. I shall show you the pieces that you will need. As usual, I've typed all this up for you. This will be in the description box of my video today. It looks a lot, but it's there's a lot of mats and things to go on it. The full PDF will be in that Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials group. So what we have, our first card base is 9.5 by 5 7/8. I've done that in Misty Moonlight. I've got different colours and different paper for this one today. My insert is 10 5/8 by 5 7/8. That's that one. My mats for inside are in Bubble Bath, and I've got four of these, two of the DSP's two designs. The mats here in the Bubble Bath are 5 7/8 by 1 7/8, and then the DSP I've chosen two designs. I'll show you the paper in a minute. 5 3/8 by 1 5/8, and there's four of those. That's I'll show you from this one. It's got these two down this side and these two in here. Every time I look at this card, I wonder where these pieces are, but it's the full piece right down inside there that goes all the way through. All of these mats here, these are the sizes. We've got these two here. Inside top center right, that's this one here. Where am I? Up here. 3 inches by 2 7/8. And then the DSP on that, which I've chosen a white piece. You can do that all white and then stamp an image on if you wish, but you could put DSP on here. 2 3/4 by 2 5/8, and then that lower left one, which is this one here, 2 7/8 by 2 1/2 for the mat, and then DSP or white 2 5/8 by 2 1/4, and I've just stamped some little images on that. My mats that are embossed, I've got two. 2 7/8 by 1 7/8 is the left one, and 2 1/2 by 1 7/8 is the right one. All different sizes on this because of where I've cut this. I could have cut it halfway, but it's 5 7/8 high, so you would end up with a 1/16, which would make your measurements difficult all the way through. So I've pushed that out of whack as well. So I left it as I've got it here, so it's sort of even as it is. We've done those embossed ones. My front mats are these two here. 2 7/8 by 1 7/8, that's the mat, and 2 1/2 by 1 7/8 is those two there. And then the fronts, which is these two here, one white one, or you can put DSP on the front and just put a little greeting on the top. 2 5/8 by 1 5/8 and 2 1/4 by 1 5/8. I've done the white, and I've done a little die cut image on that and stamped that one. And then my back writing mat is bubble bath again, 5 by 3 1/2, and the writing 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. These are die cut with the textured notes dies, but you could leave them plain if you haven't got any dies. It doesn't matter what size you do the back. You can do it a different size. You could do it smaller. You can go a little bit bigger if you want more writing space at the back. That's optional with your writing panel at the back. So that's all the pieces, and I've got some embellishments as well to put on at the end. I shall just get these. I need my smaller one first, which is my card base, and I'll just show you the paper. They're the textured notes dies that I used. That one, they've been out for a little while. They're online as well. This is the paper I've chosen today, Floral Charm. It's an online exclusive as well. Lots of pretty papers in this one. I've used quite a bit. I've got a couple of packs of it. Really nice paper. Love it, love it, love it. And then I'll just, this Friends Are Flowers in the Garden of Life. That's from the You Are Remarkable stamp set. My little images, the stamped images are there, and also there's dies in here from the Charming Day set. This goes with the paper that I showed you, and it's online as well, one of the online exclusives. And my Happy Birthday and those I've used in this. Did I put the Happy Birthday on? Yes, it's on the inside. And then the embossing folder I chose is this Eyelet 3D one. Just a lovely little flowery image. So that's that. Now we'll start with this. This is our, oh, we don't need that. We need the scorer, trimmer. So we'll start with this one. We're scoring at, this is 9 1/2. I'll just double check. 9 1/2 by 5 7/8 is the piece you need to start with, and we're scoring at 1/2 inch, which is here. Make sure I got the right one. Yes, 1/2 inch, and 2 5/8, which is across there. Make sure it's nice and straight. Rotate 180. I always do it this way. When I've got the same measurements on both sides, I rotate 180. That way you get an exact score measurement on both sides. So we're going 1/2 inch and 2 5/8. Some people go all the way across with longer measurements, but I prefer to do it this way. So that's that one. We'll do the folding on that in a minute. And then your longer piece, which is 10 5/8. I'll just double check that one. I've known to be wrong before. 10 5/8, which is over there, by 5 7/8. 5 and 7 over there. Yes, all good. Always double check lately because I'm getting a bit out with my scores sometimes. So this one here, you'll need to score at 2 1/8. just move that down, make sure I'm in view. 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. And then the same again, rotate 180 and do 2 1/8 and 4 1/4, which is right there. Now this piece here will stay on this piece. You're going to put the short side at the top and the left edge on 2 3/4 inches, which is there. And we're going to cut from this outside edge down to this second score line. But I prefer, you can do it either way. Put the scorer out of the road. We're going to cut now. I prefer to stand up and find my end point where I'm going to cut, which is this second score line, and I'm putting my blade right on top of that. I find it's easier than coming down and trying to stop on a score line. I go up this way, like so, and then you lift your blade and go down. Just miss this center section here. You're not missing any score lines, and we're starting on this score line here, which is the third one across, and I'll move that in a bit so you can see. So we're on the third line here, third score line, and cut that one as well. So that is how we're doing that piece. And now we're going to cut. Wait till I double check. Yes. We need to cut one section out of the top, which is up here. My bigger panels are at the top. My wider panels are at the top. So make sure you've got the wider panel here at the top. And we're going to cut that out from, I'll move it down again, and then we're going to do the bottom on the other side. So on, it doesn't really matter what it's on. It should be 4 1/4 actually, because that's your second score line. So on there, and we're going to cut down, but as again I'm going to go from this cut line there up and remove that piece. And then the same on this side. I can rotate it around, put that second score line in the track here, and we're going to cut. So you're cutting opposite corners. Just make sure you've got the right corners and don't cut the same one out on both sides. And we're going up there. And that just needed a little pull. Now it's these, when you fold these, I'll show you here. This is where I'm going to trim it, a tiny section. This comes in and that goes back, and this comes in and that goes back. So you end up with that, and it's along here. I might not, see, it's not catching as much on this one, so I might not have to trim it. I don't want to trim it and have it looking ugly and all out of shape. I think I'll leave it the way it is. We'll burnish those. But if you feel that that's going to catch on there, I might just trim down here, just a smidge off that. So you need to sort of remove the score line, which is, that's better. And the same on this side. This one here. So long as you've removed the score line, I'll just go a smidge along there. That might help it sit better. Nothing worse than you spend all this time doing a card and it doesn't sit right for you. Just neaten up your cut lines there a little bit. That's better. That's better. It's sitting beautiful now. So we'll burnish all of those. We can decorate after we've assembled this section. We need to put the two those pieces there, they're big enough to use for scraps, so we'll keep those. Now this here, it will come inwards. This is your main base. The two inner score lines will come folded as valley folds, like that. And then this here, the little 1/2 inch tab, comes back and forms a mountain fold, like so. And that will meet up down the middle, nice and neat. So that's that. Now we need to put these 2 panels on, at least the inside ones. The outside ones are not as important. I'm going to put, I think I'll put my flowers on the front. I'll put these in here. I hadn't actually decided, and I want my leaves up the right way. These have to go on before you put this centerpiece in, because this part sits over the top of them. So we'll just adhere those in. And my glue. It's quite cool here this morning. I do record my videos, so when you see them, it will be a recording, but it's just for convenience for me to do it this way. I do my lives in my group on a Saturday morning, so I do lives as well. So that one's in there. My favourite colours are pink and blue. As you can see, I've done lots of cards with pink and blue. I do other cards, but I do like pink and blue together. And that one will go in there. If you don't want the mats on this, if you think it's a bit bulky, you could put just your DSP in here, leave the mats off, but make your DSP the same size as your mats, so it's not a big gap down the edges. That's there. Now this piece here can go in. So you're folding it flat like you would. Make sure your wider pieces at the top. So we're going to cut a little bit more off this in a sec. So this here is going to go down the centre of the, I can see a little bit there that's not quite even. If you do all your trimming before you start, so that it's really difficult to get into it afterwards. Just making sure it's nice and neat. So with it folded up like that, you're going to put glue on the back of this, and we're going to centre it down the middle of that centre panel. I do suggest liquid glue for this part, because you need that bit of wiggle room to get it nice and straight. So it's a little bit awkward to hold on to it without getting glue everywhere. So I'm just eyeballing it so it's, whoops, down the centre without getting glue everywhere. Make sure your wider panel is up the top, and that sits in there with your even bits either side here. And then it opens like that. I'll just have a mouthful of water. Now, these pieces here, it's not difficult, but I'll show you how these work. We need to work out, this is where you'll need your pencil. Pull these open so they're flat. I'm just making sure that's even at the bottom there. And put a pencil mark there. And this top section is going to put a cross on there so you remember which one you've got to cut out. And then the same on this side. Just draw a pencil line where the bottom of that is, and we're going to cut that out. So you can pull that back, cut across there, that pencil line, and then cut that section out. Remove the score line as well. Like so, and then this side, we're going to cut across here. Make sure, make sure you put a cross on that section so you know exactly which piece you're going to remove. If you just do this pencil line, you might end up cutting this top section. Then you've wasted what you've done so far. You'll have to start again. So make sure you put a cross on the piece you're taking out and remove that score line. So that's those two little bits out. Now what we're going to do, we're just going to put some tear and tape along this panel here, this little strip. And I do suggest tear and tape because it's not like you need wiggle room. I did get my tear and tape out. Here it is. But you want it nice and strong that you're going to... I might just remove a little bit more of that there. I could see the score line. So a strip of tear and tape down these tabs as close to the score line as you can, or reasonably close, so it holds it together. And the same over this side. Not difficult once you've got all your bits cut. And it will be easy to put all my mats on. I've got all them prepped for you to save a bit of time. Burnish your tape. Always burnish my tape so you know it's going to stay stuck. And then all we're going to do is take the backing off these and do one at a time and lay this out flat on top of that. And the same with this side. Pull that across flat and lay it out flat. And that is your base. It locks together easy on your, at the start. See, that's locking lovely. Because we haven't got all the mats on. When it gets a bit bulky, I think it's just starts to, but the more you unlock it and lock it, it gets easier. So we can put those on later. That's the other side. We'll just lay all these out. We've got this one up here. This one, that's the front. What have I done? I've got it upside down, no wonder. I wonder why it wasn't looking right. That one will come up here. So these overlap. Oh, actually, it goes... I think I've got it the other way around on this one. Yes, it goes on this side. I've got it opposite this one, but it makes no difference which side. This one's coming, that one will go in there. This one comes in down. Just lay them all out first, and then this one will come in here. I have got this, as you can see, this wider panels on this side, but that's just the way I've made it. This top panel here, I've cut it out here and here. So long as you cut the opposites, this one's the opposite way around, but that's fine. It still works exactly the same. That's a front. So it'll go on the other side. Where am I? No, this is going on here. That one's on there. And this one's, when you lock those together, they'll end up on the front. So lay them all out there going on the back. I've just got my cuts different, but it makes no difference where you cut. So when you do it yourself, you can have that, do the cut edge on the other end of your tab. It's hard to show it right now, but do it on the other side. If you want it the other way, makes no difference. So we shall glue all these on. Just make sure you lay all your pieces out before you glue them down, so you've got them in the right spots. They'll fit whichever way you do your cut. And the ones you want to show on your front will be on these outer edges on top and bottom. So over there and over here. They're showing at the front when you lock the card together. Got my silicone mat there and I'm not using it as usual. could have put the flowery piece down here, but I wanted some flowers on the front to show the pretty paper as well. Now this goes over a cut line here, so it covers that up. And you've got the 1/8 inch border all the way around. Keeps moving on me. You could put just bits of DSP here instead of embossing if you wish. You don't have to do exactly. I'm sure lots of you have good imagination that you can choose whatever you like. If you're in my group and you're watching my video and you do make the card, please share it in my group. I'd love to see your variation of the card. I encourage all my girls to, there's close to 20,000 members in my group, but not everyone is active in the group, which I wish there was more. We have a lot that are, and I so appreciate them sharing, but we need a lot more. The more people that craft, the better the world will be. So that one's sitting in there. And we've done that one, but it's not on the edges. I'll just stick that down. So they're all on. And as you can see, it's going this way. I think this one's probably going to shut a little bit better, although we've got to get those other panels on yet. Just manoeuvre it a little bit to start. And if you sit a block on that overnight, it will sit down flat. It's just that the score lines are not sort of burnished fully when you first do it. So we'll flip this over. We're almost done. And these two are going on here, and my greeting panel in the center. I could have put the pink mat all the way, but I like to use those dies. And then I've just put that little strip of DSP down the bottom, just to tone in with all my other pieces. You won't see this, that will be hidden. I thought of covering that as well, but you don't see it when you've got the card closed. This will end up at the back. You could cover it if you wish. Just put a little, maybe just an embossed piece over the top of it. I didn't think it was necessary. And this one in the center. And then I've got some embellishments that I'm going to pop on at the front. Oops, that's not straight. Over there a bit. So that'll be the back. But then when you do this, they come to the front. Like so. Oh, I love that. And it's not catching here this time. I'm not sure why. I didn't do anything different, although maybe I have. I've tidied it up a little bit more. Maybe those were not cut as straight as they should have been. But I'm happy with that. I'll message my friend later because she was going to make this one. And I said to her, you may need to trim in here, but I didn't need to. So that is good. I'll message her and tell her not to do it. And now I've got some embellishments here. They're the Strawberry Slash and Pretty in Pink Gems. They're online. Actually, those colours. Oh, these lighter. No, I don't like those. We'll get some others. Just be a sec. I've got some with bubble bath. They won't work. I might do some druzy ones. We'll put a bit of sparkle on it. We've got silver and gold in these. I might just use the silver. Silver goes nice with blue. that other pink was not the right pink. I'm going to put some little silver ones. We'll just scatter them at the front. Put one in there and another one over the side down here. There we go. Adds a little sparkle to the front. That is it from me. I hope you enjoyed that. I do love that pattern. And just be sure when you pull this that you've got hold of the, probably not the centre, but firmly so that you don't rip anything. It does go together much easier than the other one. Just all you've got to do is make sure this here is over the top and this one down here is over the top, and then just push it. I'm so happy that that worked out a lot better. That's it from me for today. Thank you all for joining me, and if you love what I do, I'd love you to subscribe. I'm trying to get my subscribers up a little bit. And I shall catch you all again next Monday at 9 AM. Have a lovely week. Bye for now.